Sometimes I go days and days without making a video, and then there's other days that like boom, 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 synchronization. And I want to share those moments because I know people are experiencing it and they're going, that's a coincidence. That's a coincidence. And it's not. It's a synchronization, and it's you're on the right path right in this moment because of that. So listen, look out for those. I feel like I'm like on a couple of pallets, and I got the camera set up on the pallets, and I don't know if it's going to work out. So if it's shaky this afternoon, I apologize. But I subscribe to Lori Ladd on Patreon. I think she's amazing. She's a fantastic teacher, and I really enjoy her content and the message that she speaks. And she had a channeled message, which she only does on Patreon, and she did that on March 17th, which was St. Patrick's Day, with a General Crook, Crook. And he was a general during the Civil War, she said, and during the Indian Wars in the United States. And it was a really powerful message. Probably one of the best channel messages in a long time. And, not a famous person. I haven't even like Googled him or anything. I just it is what it is. And it doesn't really matter who said it at the end of the day, although I always want to give credit to somebody. But the message is resounding, and it's the same, and it's the message for humanity. And the biggest takeaway message for me, we talk a lot about programming and the world and the noise of the world and how the noise of the world programs us. And part of that programming is fear and separation, and it pulls us out of love, it pulls us out of alignment. And one of the things he said was, should is the fastest way into programming. And it was like, bing, he's exactly right. Because anytime you feel like, I should do this, it's not because you want to. It's not what you want to do. It's what you've been told you should do. From all the programming, from your parents, from your grandparents, from society, from teachers in school, you name it, from, whoever. This is how you should be. This is how you should do. You don't ruffle feathers because then, you're going to stand out. Or as humans, we want to conform, even though our alignment might say it's going to make you stand out like a white feather among black. It just is what it is. And, through human society, we continually get pulled into this fear state. We get pulled out of love and alignment into fear. And a lot of that noise in the world that we talk about all the time is pulling us out of love. It's pulling us out of alignment. It's pulling us into the world. And this is exactly what I was talking about this morning. It pulls us into or onto that stage where we're participating on the stage instead of sitting back in the audience watching the shit show. So you need to ask yourself, if your brain is coming into, I should blank, 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 is it you saying you should, or is it programming from whoever else in this outside noisy ass world saying what you should do? Is it going to pull you out of alignment? Is it going to pull you out of love? Is it going to pull you from the audience onto the stage? Boom. I was just like, oh my gosh, this goes so much with what I was talking about this morning. I look at her Patreon and I catch up as I can. This morning was a good morning. I had time to do it, and I finished it up this afternoon. And I had to come out to water the pig, like synchronization. I had to come out to water the pigs anyway. I was kind of, when am I going to do that? When is it going to be warm enough? It's not warm enough. It's like 4 o'clock or something, I think. And it's just now warm enough, okay? And here we are, listening to these messages and getting up and going boom, boom, boom. And it's activating stuff in me. It will probably activate stuff within you. But think about that. Every time you hear, I should blank, or if you're telling somebody else, you should blank, you may be asking them to pull themselves out of alignment, out of love. Something big, like that's some serious, if we're trying to get out of programming, if we're trying to get into ourselves, our love, our alignment, if we're trying to change the world through us, that's how we do it. We pull ourselves out of programming, we stay in alignment, we stay in love, and that's how we change the world, because it will begin to impact all of the people around us, all of the people we talk to, all of the people we see. And when we can't remember to do that, when we fall into our programming, can we have love, compassion, and kindness for ourselves? Can we have love, compassion, and kindness for other people when they fail or when they're in programming? You know, COVID has been very awakening for a lot of people. And there was bad stuff going on before then, but it was really a catalyst moment for a lot of people. And as these fearful things are being exposed, it is starting to wake people up, but then that gets you to go inward. And then when we go inward, we go, what is going on here? I have a choice. I have free will. I don't have to be in fear. You know what? All this crap doesn't really matter. I'm going to step back. I'm going to observe. I'm going to let it play out. And I'm going to stay in this centered, aligned, loving state. And if I don't, I'm still going to have compassion, love, and kindness for myself. And when other people aren't being loving, I'm still going to have compassion, love, and kindness for them. And when I fail at loving them or having compassion and kindness, I'm still going to love me, and I'm going to try to love them all the way through it. And this is how we change the world. Boom. Okay. So, it is really a gift. This was one of the other things. Gift to see things and to wake up. When we're having those awakening moments, when we're making that conscious choice not to participate anymore, when we're coming into our power, and then we always need to keep continuing to evaluate fear, love, fear, love. Am I going to be pulled into this crap, or am I going to stay right here centered in me? Am I going to see my friend and have compassion and love for them? Even though, oh my God, I don't agree with them, I don't understand exactly where they're coming from, can I still have compassion, love, and kindness for them? We see so much division to play that fear. Look back in history. If you look at segregation, if you look at slavery, if you look at the Native Americans, just in U.S. history, oh my gosh, we could go back further. But if you just start to look there and look at, and even now, gender stuff, oh my goodness. And hey, I participate in that too sometimes. I am very proud to be a woman. I love being the feminine. I am really coming into that energy. But that can be used to divide. And again, it's being aware. What's the difference between fear and awareness? You're making a choice. It's a big difference. And so, what are you choosing to participate in? Are you choosing to participate in it? It's pulling you out of alignment, and you're going, oh my gosh, I don't want to be participating in this, but I'm choosing to do it anyway. You're giving your free will away, or you're choosing to do it consciously. So can you have compassion, love, and kindness for yourself in those moments? When somebody else is deep into programming, and I mean, gosh, we all know people deep into programming. We know people that drink the programming from the TV for supper, okay? They're on their phones and they're getting the programming 24/7. And when the narrative changes, they jump right into the next fear narrative. Boom, boom, boom. But can we have compassion, love, and kindness for them? They haven't had that moment where it's awakening, dawning on them, anything. And that's okay. You know what? There are going to be so many people on this planet that are just not going to wake up in the same way. And instead of saying, oh my gosh, you guys are losers, I'm better than them, you're causing division. You're not in love. Can we just love them through it? I don't think this means you can't, in your aware state, I'm making up words today, it's okay. In your aware state, you're going to say, I'm going to still let people know. I think it's important to plant seeds. I really do. But I never count on them growing. I might plant a seed, I'll throw it out there, and if something comes of it, beautiful, I love it. But if nothing ever happens with it, I'm still in my aligned state. And when I start to feel pulled, like, oh, everybody's posting about that, gosh, I should post about that, blah, blah, blah. And I go, wait, what? Why am I posting about that? Am I in fear? Am I doing it because everybody else is doing it? Why am I doing this? And a lot of times I won't post. I go through my Facebook memories and I go, oh, hey, there's a lot of memories here. And I share some of them because I'm amazed by the relevance now, still a year later. I'm amazed by how the message has deepened a year later, or 3 years later, or 8 years later. You know, some of these messages I'm looking and I'm like, oh, I was there. Like I was there, and it was trying to get out so hard. The last thing I wanted to talk about, and I'm sorry I took notes, but I know my pregnant brain will forget. And I think I kind of already spoke about this, but how are we responding? Are we stepping back, observing, and then responding? Are we looking at it? You gotta keep continuing to look at it as a play or movie or something like that. And do you want to be an actor on the stage or on the screen? Do you want to be the people behind the scenes in production? Or do you want to be, and maybe the people behind the scenes in production are more the people that are aware, but they know they're still participating. And then there's the stepping back into the audience and just visually watching it, and you're not really participating. Maybe that clarifies that analogy a little bit better. Because I think I always talk about the 3 different groups, but, you know. And while I'm either sitting in the audience, can I have compassion, love, and kindness for everybody? The actors, the stage people, the production crew, whatever, and all the people in the audience. Can I do that? And that's really hard, because there's a lot of these actors that, they're really good at their evil henchman roles. You know, there's some people I could name out and stuff, and, you know, that I would just kind of go, you know, a lot of people are like, I want to see him dead. I don't want to see him dead. I want to see them awaken. Because you can have somebody like this Crook guy, and I'm going off of what Lori said about his background, but you can have somebody, and this guy did some pretty terrible stuff, for sure. But you can still awaken out of that and realize it and start to be the change. And this is where we could even get into Yeshua, or Jesus, and saying, you know, he talked about how, and I think this is why there's parts of the Bible that are universally, it appeals to our heart and our love and our alignment, because we know that that part is true. You can't ever go too far gone and not awaken. You can be the most vile, horrible person on this earth, and you can awaken. You're going to have to live with the things that you've done, but what would you do after that point? What would any of us do after that point of awakening? How are we living day to day? Are we still being that former person, or are we changing constantly? Are we trying to change the world through us constantly? Are we having compassion, love, and kindness for everyone and ourselves as we've awakened? It's really just amazing how these synchronizations can happen. And when they happen, they are so beautiful. And instead of, if you're still in the point of this is a coincidence, I urge you to look at the beauty of the universe in the moment and start telling yourself it's a synchronization. It's the same thing I was talking about this morning of switching from the negative to switching it to it's a learning experience. Instead of saying, oh, bad things always happen to me, oh my gosh, I have a new learning experience. How quickly your world shifts and changes when you shift your perspective. That's not love and light all the time and blah, blah, blah. I see a lot of that stuff. That's not what it is. You're still honoring what this moment was. Yeah, it's a crappy moment. I messed up. I did whatever. But I'm still going to learn from it. Instead of, if it's a parent spanking a child, they could be like, fuck, I never get this right. I'm just going to keep spanking. I want to do this gentle parenting thing, but it's just not going to happen. And, I just don't know how to do it. I'm not going to worry about getting the tools or anything. I'm not going to take this as a learning experience. I'm just going to keep spanking them. Okay, you could keep doing that. Or you could say, okay, I'm going to buy some books. I'm going to read some stuff. And I'm going to follow my intuition, my guidance and stuff, and see what I can change and see if I can shift things. And when they fail, they go, okay, I didn't meet my expectations, but this is a learning experience. What was wrong here? The kid was hungry. I was hungry. I was already upset about this, and I couldn't keep my frustration of this onto that. Whatever the case may be. And then you look at yourself and you go, okay, I have love and compassion for myself. There's no perfect human. And I'm going to have love and compassion for myself, knowing that I did the best I could. And I'm going to learn everything I can from this moment. And I intend next time for it to be different. Instead of saying, I'm never going to get this right. I'm a fuck up. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't be a parent. Yeah, I'm just going to keep hitting my kid because that's the best thing to do for me. And hey, you know what? If that's where you get to, that's not me, but hey, if that's you and that's where you're at, again, I'm not going to judge somebody else's experience. I can't. I am not capable. No person on this planet is a judge for another human being. And when we start saying, you should gentle parent, or you should do this, or you should spank your kid, or whatever the case may be, that's when we're getting into programming. Can you step back and love that parent regardless? It's hard. It is one of the hardest freaking things that you could do, is to love someone that you consider to be wrong, evil, different. Pick an adjective. But can you do it anyway? Because as we're loving ourselves, and as we're loving these people, and as we're letting that light shine, then we're changing the world. It's very hard. I know this is a longer video, and my butt is killing me. But I'm going to say this. And I think I said this morning, but I'm going to say it again. It is very, very hard to be going through this awakening journey with kids. if you are doing this and you have kids or grandkids or whatever that are in your life, and you're doing this, like, I commend you. I commend me. It is not for the faint of heart. And I don't know, when we were on the other side and we chose to do this, hey, that sounds like a good idea. Let's make it most likely I awaken middle-aged. Or in my 20s, whenever you're having kids and, that sort of thing. But everything has a reason and a purpose. And I know for me personally, as I'm going through these changes, as I'm falling into alignment more and more, as I notice these synchronizations more and more, and as I vocalize them and speak about them to my family, and even to friends and other loved ones and stuff, but my immediate family especially, I start to notice little changes. And I love it. And I know that's why I'm awakening now. If this had all happened in my 20s, when I was just, newly married, no kids, first of all, I don't know that my marriage would have survived. And that would be a shame, because we've been, partners for over 20 years, or almost 20 years. 20 years this August. It feels like forever sometimes. But it would have been difficult, and I don't know, there would have been a lot of freedom, and maybe it would have had been more quickly, and I would have had a bigger chunk of my life to kind of find my paradise. But really, at the end of the day, I found it now. What does it matter? I have it now. I'm awakening now. I'm aware constantly that I have a choice of where I want to be participating in this world and on this play. Do I want to be in the audience? Do I want to be on the stage as an actor? Or do I want to be in production? Where do I want to be? And I get to consciously choose in each and every now moment. And all I come back to is I'm grateful it's happening now. I am so grateful for the last 3 years. And I can see all the steps that led up to this point. And I just look at it and I'm just, wow, that was all planned for me. That's amazing. And this is happening simultaneously with other people all around the world. Wow, that's freaking amazing. And then I think of the daily synchronizations that happen just for me. I'm like, wow, go team. We're on the right track. It's almost, better than hoped for. It's such a good feeling. It would have been amazing to feel it before. It's amazing right now. So I really hope this helped, just drive home this morning's video. And man, if you get a chance to watch this, to subscribe to Lori on Patreon or anything like that, it was an amazing channeled message. I honestly look on Facebook, because sometimes she'll show excerpts and stuff. But wow, I mean, it truly was a amazing channeling. If you've never seen somebody channel, I don't think she does it on YouTube anymore. I think you may find previous ones though from probably 3 or 4 years ago. So I think this video is long enough. It's going to take forever to upload, but I hope you guys have a great evening and watch those synchronizations. Watch to make sure you're staying in your aligned, loving state, or are you being told should and pulling you out, pulling you into the noise of the world. Have a great day.